Let's see if we can. I think someone needs to talk him through it. Laura, you're good at this stuff. Maybe you should ring Anton and tell him how to do it. Yeah, that's better. Are we there? See if he's got him. Waiting for it. We found him at least. There he is. Technology.
Why do they make this so complicated? It's supposed to be a doddle. Let me get you nice and up into. Oh wait, no, what's that in front of the thing? Oh no. Hang on, past the incident. Hold on. How's that? Can you
That's great. That's brilliant. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you? I'll put the specs on so I can see you. Is that all right?
Yes, mate. Yeah, it is. It is. You've been really busy, haven't you, during this lockdown period?
Listen, I would go mad if I wasn't doing something. I mean, we can't go out and play golf. I don't know why we can't play golf. Why can't we play golf? It's made no sense. I've never known two amateur golfers to hit the ball within 2 meters of each other in the history of my life. And suddenly they're keeping us off the golf course. When I started playing golf, you used to change your shoes in the car park. You used to whiz onto the first tee. You used to whack one off. Golf ball, of course.
Yeah. Sorry. Careful.
Morning show.
And,
and away you go for 4 hours, not talking to each other. You
can't change your shoes in the car park at Wentworth, mate. That's not allowed.
Well, there is that, I suppose.
So you've been so busy, haven't you, in this lockdown? You've got your 11s, you've got your fit at 50 at 3 o'clock. I mean, yeah. I'm lucky you can fit us in.
Well, you picked a good time. 1 o'clock, or well, eventually 1:05 by the time I get up to speed with the technology. It's a good time for me. Do you know, I really, excuse me, I'm loving doing it. There's two things I love about it. One, I love doing it because it's live.
Yeah.
That's the big thing for me, is because I love interaction. That's why I love being on stage and all these sorts of things, because I actually enjoy doing the dance classes enormously, really, because I love that sort of interaction. But it's something I'm not really able to do in under normal circumstances, because I'm so unreliable. You know, stuff comes up, and if I said, like, every Monday night we're going to do a dance, as I used to once upon a time, I used to do a Monday night beginners dance class at 7 o'clock. But then, of course, I'd get something would come up, and I'd have to go and do it, and filming this and doing a bit of that, and I'd become unreliable, and people would get a bit annoyed, and I'm not, and absolutely right so. So I don't really do it. I might do it at some stage in the future, but this has given me a wonderful opportunity to do it again, which I really enjoy doing. But the live factor is the big thing, with all the live chat that's going on.
Yeah, interaction.
And people involved and interacting. For me, that's massively important, because even though we're sort of in this period of isolation, I think the most important thing is not to become isolated. And at a serious moment there, do you see that? I think it is a serious point, actually, because the worst thing about it is being alone, you know, and so the dance class gives everybody a chance just to, even if you don't get involved, you just like following the chat and getting involved. It's only 20 minutes and it's lovely, and I love it. And of course, the Fit of 50 is something I've been meaning to do for a long time, actually. Because I mean,
you're not 50 yet, are you?
Not yet, no, not for a considerable amount of time. And so I keep telling my hair colorist, and I think it's again, that's important, because, you know, the less you do, the less you want to do, and being in shape has been a major part of my life in regards to what I do, because, you know, you can't really do it if you're not in shape. And for me, it's a lifestyle sort of decision. Years ago, it's just how I lead my life. But I think it's, but I know what it's like as one gets older, what it's like to be in shape, you know,
Yeah.
or trying to be in shape, or trying to get in shape, or if you're not in shape and you want to start getting in shape, everything's a bit over-facing and a bit sort of, oh, geez, I don't have to join a gym. I have to join a gym. Oh, I don't do that. Oh, I don't want to do a spin class at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd rather vomit in a bucket.
That's right.
And I understand all of that. I'd rather work out later in the day, personally.
Yeah.
My wife, Hannah, would think of nothing. She'd rather do less than work out. She wants to do it at 7:30 in the morning. I mean,
really?
She's doing a class online class at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm a late person.
Oh, I can't be doing that. But maybe that's the nature of my sort of life in the industry I'm in. You know, we do everything sort of later in the day. But you know, so I'm loving, and again, that's live, and I'm loving doing that as well. So it's really, really great, and I'm not hoping to keep it going when I've got the YouTube channel going now. I've got YouTube, Anton Du Beke TV. Bonjour.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing it all on that. And when the lockdown's over, I shall keep it going for as long as I can. Whether it be live, maybe some live, some not live. I don't know. I have to sort of work it out. But there's other things I'd like to do. And do you know, one thing I really love, and we're going to talk about golf very briefly. The one thing I really used to love, and people have sort of, I'm going to say our age, will remember it really, certainly if they're keen golfers, is Around with Alice. Do you remember that?
Yeah, definitely.
And basically, it was just an old chat show. It was a chat show, really, but on the golf course. So you hit a few shots and you'd play 9 holes and you'd have a chat. And it's basically as though the same as if they were going on to a Parkinson or Wogan or Russell Harty show or something like that. Or for the younger viewers, Graham Norton and Jonathan Ross. Nobody would know any better.
Who?
So I'd love to do a bit of that, really. Get some people, sort of famous faces out on the golf course and do a bit of that, really. Just
definitely bring it back. Let's bring it back.
Well, we can. We've got the opportunity now with the channel there, and we can do things like that. It'd be a lot of fun. I'd look forward to doing a bit of that. So
no, I think it's a great idea. It's a good idea.
You'll be first. You'll be my first booking.
You'll need someone higher profile, I think. But anyway, I'll be there. I'll be there. So I wanted to go back a little bit because I've done a little bit of research, so you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But it said that you kind of started to dance at 14, but you're also quite sporty. Now I obviously know you a little bit, so I know that you're very sporty and you're good at a number of sports. But one sport that came up, which I was like, that can't be true, is boxing. I just cannot see you in a boxing ring or liking to getting punched in the face. I mean, is that true?
Thing, not the face. Not look at that. You can't, look at it.
Don't hit the face.
Not the face. What's the matter with you? Come on, go downstairs. Not the face.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is actually. I used to. I was a mad keen boxing fan growing up. But I lived. I grew up in an era where boxing was, I think, almost at its strongest. I mean, we've got wonderful boxers now. Back in the day, it wasn't so fragmented. There weren't so many weight divisions. There weren't so many belts that people were fighting for. If you're the world champion, you were the world champion. I mean, it's not so far back as to say, there was one world champion. I think at the time there were 2 belts. There was the WBC and the WBA. And in the early days, and you had these wonderful divisions. I mean, middleweight was an incredible division, welterweight was an incredible division, and of course you had some great heavyweights. Although that went off a bit, but you had the Leonards and the Durans and the Tommy Hearns and you had all these incredible. So it was a sort of a glory time for boxing. And so I grew up with these incredible athletes and boxers, and the sport was fascinating, brilliant, and I loved it, and I loved boxing. And so I boxed as a schoolboy. We did a bit of boxing. But we did, you know what it's like when you're growing up. You did all of that sort of stuff.
All of it,
We did everything. There were 3 channels on the telly. We used to go out, ride our bikes, play football in the street. But the one sport I didn't really partake in was rugger. All the big rough boys. I couldn't play with the big rough boys. And so but the boxing I love. But of course, when you've got a face like mine, it does have a propensity to people to want to whack it, and when you've got a chin as long as mine, it does make a slightly easy target. So I went, oh, bugger that, and so I
So you took up dancing.
dancing.
Well, that's great. But
But
what I mean, that's unusual though, isn't it, for a 14-year-old boy to take up dancing? I mean, what got you into it?
well, um, again, going back to where I was, I grew up in a place called Sevenoaks in Kent,
Mm.
and it was a lovely place to live. It's a lovely town, and it was the summer holidays at school. We had, oceans of
Mm.
time off over the summer. You get bored. And my sister was going dancing, and I sort of one Wednesday afternoon, I stumbled along. Thought I'd go and meet her. About 13, 14 years of age. I walked into this room. It's a church hall, big church hall, and it was a room full of girls. I thought,
Hello.
tremendous. I'm 14 years old. Things are going off. I don't understand it all. My hair growing in peculiar places. My feet
Yeah.
are growing faster than my nose. I don't get it. It's all going peculiar. So I wandered in, and it was tremendous. And I sat there and watched it, and then I went home. And then the following week, I went along again and tried to have a little watch, and then got dragged up. And I was the only boy in the class, and do you know what it was? I loved it immediately, actually, funnily enough. I had far from the fact there was a room full of girls, but I loved it immediately because I love form. And that's, I suppose, one of the things I love about golf. I love form. I love a technique. I love the way things work. And then I love the fact that once you've got all that, you can just be free to do what you like. So it's, I love being able to express myself the way I want to express myself. Once I've got the nuts and bolts in the right order, I can go off and just do whatever I want and try stuff. See if I can break some rules here and push myself. And dancing like golf is it's exactly the same as much as there's no perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is no perfect. Because once you've done something, what could be perceived as perfect, you go, okay, well, let's push that. Let's see how much further we can get this. Let's see how much further we can hit this. Let's see how much bend I can get on. Let's see how much more I can express this. How much greater can I take this movement? Can I do this? And so it's a journey of discovery all the time for me, dancing, and I love it, and it's sort of everything, really. It sums up life, really, for me, dance.
Sure.
And, because you can do it in so many different ways. It's different styles and ways of being able to do it.
Sure. And then I think it's about, I mean, give or take a few years. It's about 20 years or so since we first met, I think. Give or take.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't changed a bit.
No, we look exactly the same. But what I was going to say was, at the time, I didn't know what you were doing for a living. And well, I think at the time you're probably still amateur, and you were obviously traveling around. I noticed you won New Zealand Championships '97, and you won it back to back with Erin and stuff like that. So that would have happened just before we met or around then. But obviously you're an amateur and you're going around the world doing all these dance competitions. So quite similar to what I was doing in golf, really. And
exactly the same.
But we didn't actually, well, I don't remember chatting to you about it, funny enough. But I just wanted to ask you, what is that like? Is it, I mean, obviously I know what it's like in a golf world. Is it similar in the dance world where there's a whole load of you and you're traveling from one place to another? You're in hotels out and also how do you fund it? Because I wouldn't have thought the money is as good as sport, is it?
No, it's not.
Especially
really.
As an amateur.
Yeah, well, absolutely. As a dancer, what you're doing, as a competitive ballroom and Latin American dancer, I use that specifically because that's what I did. The other world, like the musical theatre and the classical world and stuff, you join companies and one thing or another. But as an amateur competitive dancer, it is a bit like the golfing world because it's competitive. You start off doing competitions around the UK, just the way you would do maybe on a Euro Pro tour, one of the mini tours. You play a one-day event, you play maybe a two-day event or something like that. And then you do as well as you can do. Then you try and go to the next level, and now you're playing bigger events. And then suddenly you're traveling a bit now to get into bigger events with bigger money. The only difference is for us there was no money in it. Because what you do as a dancer is first you make your reputation and you win your titles. Yeah. And then when you turn professional and retire is sort of when you start to make money from coaching, from demonstrating, and from things like that. But essentially what you're doing as an amateur and a professional dancer, although as a professional dancer, I mean, it's old-fashioned amateur and professional, a bit like golf. Yeah. there are two very different worlds.
Yeah.
It's not an open world like the tennis world, for example. And you're an amateur, you don't earn money.
Yeah.
You're a professional, you can earn money from what you do.
Yeah.
You can earn money, you can get another job. You know, for example, I had 100 jobs. I can't even tell you. I had bed salesman, furniture salesman, all hundreds of jobs.
Yeah.
And just to fund the dancing. So, you know, I worked by day and I danced by night. That was essentially I was a baker for 5 years. And everything one does is in order to fund the dancing. And then, of course, you know, eventually we'll turn professional and you sort of reach as high as you feel you can reach as an amateur dancer. Same as an amateur golfer. You might win a world championship, you might not. But then you feel like, okay, this is the time to turn pro. And I'll just continue to develop as a professional rather than doing it as an amateur. And of course, you know, you turn pro and everybody's slightly better. Mm. And then you're also now your day job becomes teaching.
Yeah.
So if you can, you sort of build up a reputation for yourself and people want to have lessons with you. So it's a bit like I use the example of Robert Rock slightly there because I know that he's a sort of a teaching pro as well as a competing pro. Yeah. So people are coming to have lessons with him whilst he's competing against them at the weekend, sort of thing. Now, you know, whether amateurs or pros. So as a professional dancer, you sort of you're doing that really, but you're traveling around the world all the time, going from it's a bit like the golfers. You know, you go from one event because you want to go to the best events, you want to win the biggest events, not for the biggest money, but for the biggest titles, really.
Yeah, prestige.
It's all about the trophy. As a competitive dancer, it's all about the trophy. I still maintain it's the most fiercely competitive world I've ever known, ever.
Yeah.
Whether it's sport, whatever, really. I mean, the dancing world, I've never known anything like it. It's so intense.
Yeah.
Because there's no money, you know, until later.
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, you know, you go to the American tour or the European tour, you win a big event. You win Abu Dhabi. Well, you've now got yourself a 2-year exemption. You've got £500,000 in the bank. And I know you've got debts and you've got things to pay. But, you know, you're better to win the Abu Dhabi than you are to win the Croydon Open or something like that. £400. So there's a little bit of, you can sit back and go, oh, blimey. Thank goodness I've got my card for 2 years. Then you can, and I'm not suggesting.
There's also a lot you learn about yourself during that journey, isn't it? I mean, what you're saying is you're putting in the hard miles. So by you going to New Zealand as an amateur and you and Erin winning that, it's cost you a lot of money and time and effort to be there. You're not necessarily going to gain anything for that right away. It's kind of retrospective, but you actually, you know, all that effort and hard work selling beds or whatever you were doing to fund that trip, it really means something to you and you've really learned something about yourself.
Well, you waste nothing. I mean, you are a person who wastes, you get to the point where you become, I'm a nightmare. I was a nightmare as a competitor. And if I had my time again, I'd say, you know, just take it easy, old son.
In what way?
Well,
just
I was
too competitive.
Yeah, lunatic.
Okay.
Lunatic. Because I felt like I came to it late anyway.
Okay.
So I'm now 14. I've only just started. I'm competing against guys who've been dancing since they're 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah.
So they've had half a career before I've even strapped a shoe on.
Yeah.
So now I'm always playing catch up. I've always felt like I'm playing catch up.
Yeah.
And so that made me even more of a lunatic, really. So I was an angry competitor. I was always, but I sort of hated everybody because everybody was the enemy. You know, I wanted to beat everybody, and but then of course I was so driven to work hard. But sometimes you get in your own way a little bit.
Yeah. And obviously you've got a partner. You've got a partner like Erin, obviously. So I'm guessing she has input, and you help each other, yin and yang and stuff.
Well, you do, but then of course sometimes it becomes destructive, and you end up battling against each other, which is sort of ridiculous, you know. I mean, Erin and I have been together for 23 years now.
Yeah. That's like a caddy and a player, though.
yeah.
I'm not saying who's the caddy between you two.
No, I'm definitely carrying the bag. Don't worry about that. And you know, it's a very, very unique situation. Let's say we've been together for 23 years, and somebody once asked Erin in an interview once, how have you made it work for so long? She said very easy. She said, marry somebody else, and we just go off and marry other people, and then but it's right up against the coalface sort of stuff. You know, your relationship is right in the. I don't like to use words like in the trenches, right? Because we're talking about dancing competitions, but you really do. Because there's one, you know, you get to a stage where you go, this isn't working.
No,
this isn't working at all. I'm not being as successful as I'd like to be. You'll know it's like as a golfer, you know, you sit in your hotel room after you've missed the cut and you're going, Jesus, this is not working. Then you go, well, I'm going to have to give this up. But then you look around, you go, well, what else am I going to do? I've literally got nothing else I can do.
And it's lonely.
And it's lonely. And you're I remember doing the French Open once with Erin. We were in Paris. We're dancing in the French Open. We got mullered. We danced crap, and we got killed. We got chucked out early doors as a disaster. I remember going back to the hotel room, lying in the bath, and thinking to myself, "It's a disaster. What else am I? This is waste of time. Yeah, I'm wasting my time here. Wasting my time." And I was lying in the bath, going, well, "What else are you going to do?
Yeah,
you've left it too late to do. What else do you think you're going to do? I've left it too late to do anything else."
Yeah.
And you sort of have to go to yourself, you need to get a grip, old son.
Yeah.
And you need to sort this out. Yeah. And you have to be very, very strong with yourself. And you have to stop complaining.
Yes.
And it's nobody. My old teacher used to say to me, I used to go and have a lesson with this is the story of my life. I'm sure this is not what you wanted to talk about. This is becoming a bit cathartic here. So it's a bit like Rocket Man, isn't it? I remember going into my teacher, and I had some great teachers, and I had one chap who I used to go to every week from a young age.
Yeah.
And he was although he was a dancing teacher, he was a bit of a mentor as well, a bit of a life mentor as well. And I used to go in, every week I'd go in. He said, how'd you get on at the weekend? Terrible, I'd say. I always moaned. Terrible, I'd say. Like a golfer, really.
Just like a golfer.
I hit 2 good shots. Putting was crap. Oh, was it? Right. And he go, how'd you get on? I said, terrible. He said, what was the matter? I said, well, I couldn't dance with her. She was a nightmare. I couldn't dance. She's heavy. I can't dance with her, ever. Right. The next week I go in. They go, how was that? I said, terrible. Floor was a nightmare. Floor was so slippery. I couldn't stand on it. I don't know what they're doing with it. Nightmare. Terrible. Where'd you get? Music. Awful music. Every time. Terrible. Everything was wrong. And then one day, he literally got hold of me by the scruff of my neck, sat me in a chair, and said to me, you need to, what's the matter with you? Every week you come in here and it's always somebody's fault. It's always somebody's fault. The greens are too fast, the greens are too slow. The rough's no good. The sand in the bunkers is no good. My putting's no good.
You've got to take accountability.
It's never once your fault. Are you absolutely mad? He said, I can dance with her. Why can't I dance with her and you can't dance with her? You're supposed to be so good, hotshot. Why can't you dance with her? He absolutely battered me. And he was absolutely right to. It only comes back to you. You've got to blame yourself every now and again.
I think you're spot on, and I think that's funny because I mean one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was the parallels, because like I said, when we met we were probably doing similar things. I didn't actually realize it, and we probably could have fed it off each other a bit better, because there's plenty of golfers that have sat in their hotel rooms in a bath and gone, what am I doing? And assessing themselves and always reassessing what they're doing and questioning what they're doing. And that kind of leads me on to something else, because you know golf a little bit. A lot of golfers sit there, video cameras, analysis videos. We've got psychologists, we've got coaching, we've got fitness. Was that the same? And was that the same for your stuff? Do you have people videoing you so you can reanalyze what you've done? Because obviously in the moment you don't know. You might not be able to see exactly everything.
It's very interesting actually you talk about it, because I remember the first time we did a video. I got videoed 100 years ago, when literally a video. I think you might have done it by hand or something. And I literally saw it after he showed back to me after we danced. He showed me. I wanted to stop dancing immediately. I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. It's a bit like when you hear your voice on the answering machine. You go, "Who's that?" And you go, "That's you." That's a terrible voice. That's right. The problem with dance and video is dancing is a 3-dimensional thing. Yeah, and of course, the video is a 2-dimensional medium. So you lose a lot. All you can see is form, really. How's my form? You know, you can't see anything else. And once you understand that, then you go fine. You look at it briefly. You go, okay, the head position is not bad. So you might check things. It's like, for example, with Strictly Come Dancing, I might have a look back of a dance if I want to know how it's gone, or if there's something I'm working on specifically. I work my head a lot. My head is everyone's got a thing, and my head is a thing. I need to, because again, the shape and size of my head, I have to position it particularly well in order. Otherwise, I look a bit peculiar. Like I've got a neck brace on, something like that. So everyone's got their own thing, and so I'll have a glance and I'll have a look. Or if I want to have a look at something for balance of content, so I want to have a look about how something looks, what's the story that's running through what I'm trying to portray here. Whether the emotion of it comes across or not is sort of irrelevant, because it's three-dimensional. Whether the energy comes across, I'm not bothered about that, because you can't see that. Golf is the same. I think these guys need to, personally, put all that stuff away a bit, really. You take one look. Have a look and go, okay, well, that's no bleeding good. Right, fine. Okay, forget that. Put it away. Now go and work for a week. Come back a week later, have a quick glance and go, okay, well, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Because I get the TrackMan stuff, because you want to know how far your stuff goes.
Yeah.
Because, people aren't, creeping up on the front of the green and running the ball up to the hole anymore, because the golf course design is such that you've got to fly everything in,
Yeah.
So you need to know how far everything's going, and the technology and all these sorts of things, and the balls don't spin, and they do spin, and they don't really bend anymore unless you're Bubba Watson. I think the guys, look at me, I think the guys could take a lot out of going a little bit old school with the way they play game. You hear these wonderful terms and expressions on, and of course everything. You've got 24-hour news, you've got 24-hour analytics on golf.
Yeah,
slow-mos. Oh, the whole thing is going. It's a disaster if you're a professional golfer and you're going through a bit of a bad run. Because if you suddenly start to look at what's going on the television and what people are saying about your golf, well, you'd probably never get out your car again. You're better off. It's like a performer looking at the reviews after a show.
Yeah, must be a nightmare.
Whoa, man alive! Because you can read. I don't read anything. I don't read anything personally.
No.
And because I'm that sort of a person.
Yeah.
If I feel like one person didn't like it, or I've upset one person by something I've done or said, then I'm mortified. I'm mortified. Now I don't know that person, so so I don't know what their situation is. But if I get 10 lovely comments and then one bad one, I'm only thinking about the bad.
Focus on the bad one. Yeah.
Idiotic. So don't read anything. Just I live in this lovely world of where I think everybody loves me.
Anton's world.
I don't need to know the truth at all. I'm concerned. Everybody loves me.
No, that's right. And I think you make good points there. And what's happening on tour at the moment, funny enough, is that like all things, they go through phases. And you kind of had the camcorder phase and the iPhone phase, and now actually people are becoming a little bit more performance. They have got performance coaches rather than technical coaches out on the range, so they are edging back towards the old school system, if you like, a little bit more kind of what are we doing and why are we doing it, and is it associated to what we're trying to do on a golf course. And I'm sure that can happen in the dance world as well. So
absolutely, you've got to perform. I mean, they talk about confidence. I've always worried about that word confidence. It seems to cover a multitude of sins, really. Oh, he's not very confident today, so his confidence is a bit low, so he's playing crap. Well, potentially, or he could just be playing crap. What is first, the chicken or the egg, really? We all know that if you feel great, then you perform better.
Yeah,
you feel that you perform better. Whether your results are different, I don't know. Gavin you remember Gavin Henson, the World Rugby player? Yeah. Came on to Strictly Come Dancing. Fascinating chap, actually. I mean, I know him only on Strictly Come Dancing. I never played rugby with him, so I don't know what he's like as a person to play with. I've heard he's a nightmare. But then I've also heard he was tremendous. So there you go.
You've covered all bases there.
Yeah, well, depends who you ask. So I found him interesting, really, because I was having a conversation with him once, and he's, you know, he used to fake tan, and he used to go under the sunbed, and he looked like an Adonis. The hair was immaculate, the body was stripped of anything, and he was all gore and fabulousness, and it was everything. The eyeliner was on, and the lip he had done, and the eyelashes were tinted. The whole shooting, man. And you get these other guys in the room with the changing room with him, the hairy ass guys with the beards and the smelly and last week's shorts, all that sort of stuff. So, and I said to him, talk me through it. He said, when I look in the mirror, he said, I look great. So I look amazing. He said, so when I go out on that field, he said, I feel $1 million. He said, I'm gonna perform that way. If I feel terrible, I'm not going to perform well.
No. And
you know, the psychology is very basic, but really interesting. And that's, so I always say this: the biggest step for me in my competitive world, really, and you know, competition is competition. It doesn't matter what your medium is.
No, agreed.
You're either competing against somebody else, you're competing against yourself, and invariably they are the same, really.
Yeah.
Often you might be in a team of sport, you might be in an individual sport, you might be playing against an opponent, you might be playing with a golf ball, you might be just playing on your own. But competition is competition, and so you know, you're dancing, and so you end up in the biggest thing for me is when I sort of knew myself.
Yeah.
The first person you've got to know is you.
Yeah, agreed.
But you only find that out. Some people just stumble upon it immediately, and then they're set for life. Other people take years of battling against them, going up the wrong path. I mean, it's
agreed.
You know, it's like a river, really. You're on this river, and there are all these tributaries, dead end tributaries, and so often, you know, you're going along the river, and suddenly somebody goes, "Oh, I've got an idea. What you need to do is you need to just have a little bit of that, just on one of them, just feel a little bit of that." And you go, "Oh, I don't know. That sounds quite handsome. I'll have a go at that." And then, bosh, you're up a tributary, and then you're stuck for a bit, and then you have to come back out, and you back out, and you have to go backwards, and then you go on again. And unsolicited information is the worst information you'll ever get in your life, because it's everybody's a bleeding expert on everybody else.
People want to help, don't they? That's the thing, and they don't know what they're saying.
Most of the time, the people who help are the people who don't say anything at all.
Yeah. Or shelter you from that.
Yeah, it's.
What about pressure, Anton? What about, because obviously there's pressure in golf and performing, and I know you've had some pressure in golf. You know, when you're teeing off the first of the BMW International Pro-Am, Championship Pro-Am, and you're stepping onto the dance floor, there must be pressure. So obviously, I know as a golfer what I've worked on, and a psychology and this that, and the other. What about yourself? And is it transferable, do you think, from what you've learned in the dance arena to the sporting arena?
It is, really. I mean, because it's all the same. You know, it's all about performing. Yeah. Performance is everything. How do I put my best performance on now? How do I turn that on? Whether you're saying on the first tee of the Masters, or whether you're on the first tee on the Masters on the fourth day and you're 2 shots behind the leader, or on the 10th tee of the Masters on the fourth day and you're 2 shots behind the leader. You know, it all starts to get a little bit, oh, hello, Tiger. But why is anything different? It's still the 10th tee as it was on the first day.
It's your perception.
It's perception. It's everything. Perception is everything. And they talk about, in golf, they talk about process a lot. Just go back to your process. And you know, you have to have something to fall back on. They call it process. So whatever it is that you do normally, they try to make a highly pressure situation normal.
Yeah.
Now you can do, it's like the penalty shootout, really. How do you train for a penalty shootout?
Yeah. Well,
you can't. You can, you know, because you know, if I give you 1 dart, then it's different if I give you 5 darts. To hit a particular number. Yeah. It's all of those things, because the consequence is so great. There is nothing, all I can say to you is this: there is no substitute for repetition. Yeah. And rehearsal. I go onto stage and I feel nervous about. I don't really get nervous unless I don't get nervous unless I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And that's when I get a bit nervous.
Okay.
I don't get if I know what I'm doing, I don't get nervous.
What if you've got a partner that isn't as good as they should be?
Well, that's all right because I know what I'm dealing with.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
The unexpected can make you nervous, but if if you've stood on the 10th tee,
yeah,
you know the shot to hit on the 10th.
Yeah.
And it's but the most important thing is know yourself.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that. Know yourself. You know how you are in these situations, but you've got to be real. I don't give it for all that. I manned up and I stood up and I played that shot. Honestly, stop talking immediately. I want to kill myself. You just know yourself. You know yourself.
Yeah.
What you're going to do here. You have to. If you don't know, or if you think you know, or if you go, today I'm going to do this. Okay. Good luck with that.
So staying in the present is good. I think we've also established.
Well, staying in the present is really good, but that is again. I just keep using the same expression. You've got to understand, got to know yourself really, and once you understand your process, and that comes from a lot of that comes from experience, of course. I mean, I know what it was like for me. I do what I do now, and I've done it for a while now because over a period of time of watching people it's like I've always been a great watcher of great people, and I like playing golf with great. That's why I play golf with you, because you're a super player, and I love playing golf with the pros, and I love being in a studio with great talent and great dancers and all these wonderful people, because I like to watch how these great people do what they do, and if there's anything I can take from it, I do, and I try and apply it to myself. And then I do whatever it is, and then you form yourself out of it, and that's how I've done it.
And it's helped you in the golf when you've played under pressure in golf.
Yeah, I don't get that nervous with the golf. I don't. I do. It's ridiculous, really. I'm terrible when I get a scorecard in my hand.
Are you?
Oh, like a nightmare. Oh, like a bleeding nightmare. Oh, yeah. The pro-ams, the first tee with 5,000 people around a tee box doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'll talk to them until the second I hit the ball. Absolutely no problem at all. You put a scorecard in my hand and you say, okay, this is the monthly medal now. You're off 5. Yeah, I'm off 5, which is lovely. Thank you very much. I'd love to get down to scratch. My ambition in golf is to get to scratch.
One day.
Oh yeah, do you reckon we're going to live that long? And so you put a scorecard in, and now I'm trying to protect a score. Yeah. I'm on the first. I haven't hit a shot yet. What are you protecting? You're 5. What do you want to protect 5 for? Don't protect anything. Shoot 68 and be done with it. And this is for me. This is a thing that I still struggle with now, and I have to find a way to get through that. And I will do. I'll find a way to get through it, and eventually it'll be great. Well, I don't know what it'll be.
No, I think you will. I think you will. And that brings me to a thing about learning golf and stuff, because obviously we talked about the links between competition, whether it's dancing or golf or learning. What about learning a skill like golf, where effectively now you're the pupil rather than the teacher, and I would think golf's great because in a way it's got rhythm, it's got particular movement, it's got timing. They're all things again related to dance. I mean, are they things that have helped you or hindered you?
No, it helped me. It helped and hindered, really. I've got a bit too much movement in the old body.
Too flexible, aren't you?
I get a bit too, the old hips start to do peculiar things.
You're doing a rumba when you shouldn't be doing one.
Oh yeah, I'm slipping and sliding, baby. Oh yeah. And all that sort of stuff. So I've loved golf from the moment I played it when I was about 15 or 16. I first picked up a golf club, and an old boy at the dance school I used to go to said, "Come and play golf." And I didn't know what golf was. I thought it was for posh people, as we all do. And I didn't have golf. I found an old 7-iron in the back of someone's shed that didn't really work properly, and then but I loved it immediately because I don't know. I just felt I loved. You've got to stand in a certain way. You wear certain clothes. You'd have to do the thing. You have to swish the bat, and off it goes. And I love that. But one of my problems, I get too involved in the mechanics of the whole thing. I've got to do this here, and I'm into that position there. And when I'm doing too much of that, I just go back. It's what I call Hollywood. I go into Hollywood golf mode, where I just go, right, here we go. I'm going to bend this one right to left. And I have these, and I go, right, this is going left to right. And I'm going to stick it at the top of that, and I'm going to let it drift. And then I suddenly play better golf again, because I'm not sort of mechanics orientated, and I'm just swishing the thing all over the place. So for me, it's a better way of, that's how I sort of to and fro with golf. But my problem is I don't play enough.
No. Isn't this key time? Wouldn't you normally be getting some time off right now to play?
Actually, I normally tour January, February, March. And I pick the golf clubs up in April, and then I put them away again sort of August, September. I'm in Strictly. So I play for a few months there, and you know, and it's always the way. Just as I'm coming out at the end of the summer, I'm playing absolutely great. Marvelous.
Have to give up.
Have to go back in the shed. So it's a really, and I play once every now and again when I can get a Sunday off or something. But I'm a great lover of golf. I've loved it ever since I played. And I'm a great fan of the golf and the history of golf. And the old players, and I love it.
Tell me about the BMW PGA. That must be, I mean, I know it's at your home club now, but I mean, that must be amazing to tee up there every year and have so many people follow you around and also play on just an amazing golf course with some of the top players in the world. You must enjoy that. That's your two passions coming together.
Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's exactly that. And I do, and I love it. And I love Wentworth. I remember Wentworth when I first watched golf back in the day. I mean, they used to have the Suntory World Match Play on the telly in the autumn from Wentworth. And I used to watch it and love this play. And of course, we used to watch the Masters as well. And in the Open Championship,
just inspiring.
But the Wentworth looks so. When the boys had the jumpers on and a lovely jumper and a pair of trousers and the spikes, and they had I loved it. And I still love playing golf. In jumpers and the thing, and the trousers and stuff, and rather than all the sort of sporty wear that they all wear. But so I sort of fell in love with that as well. And then when we first played Wentworth, me and my old pal, it was unbelievable being able to go to this place.
Amazing.
Heaven.
It's got an aura, hasn't it?
Oh, I've loved it ever since the first time I've walked into the place. And now I'm lucky enough to be a member there. I'm fortunate enough to be.
I'm guessing it's a bit like a Blackpool, is it?
For me, it is. It's sort of, it's that.
It's got the history. It's got the aura.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about the sort of golf, really. It has that wonderful history. It's been going a long time. And if you're a great fan like I am, and certainly through the history of golf and the development of golf and the wonderful players of before and now and stuff, I find the whole thing wonderful. But I love it because it's an outdoor game. You can go and walk. And I love bluebells in the springtime. Amongst the tree. Oh, I love all that. So
it's lovely.
That for me is it's heavenly. But the whole Pro-Am thing, when I got first invited to play, I was the most excited man. And even now, I'm still ridiculously excited. I'm like Tigger.
Like Christmas.
Like a lunatic. And the one thing I never understand with golfers is this. They invariably all stay very focused. And head down. It's all a bit Nick Faldo. And all of it, eyes down on the golf. Nobody talks to the crowd or anything.
No.
Lee Trevino used to talk to everybody. He has that famous line when he was playing with Jack Nicklaus, and Jack Nicklaus said to him, "Listen, it's the end. It's the last day on the US Open or something." And Jack goes, "Listen, Lee, I don't really want to chat today. He said, I just need to concentrate on the golf, if that's all right." And Lee goes, "That's all right." He said, "Jack, don't you worry. You don't have to say a word. I'll do all the talking." And he walked off and just talked to him for him. Now, Lee Trevino spoke to everybody. He discussed what he was about to do and laughing and joking like that. There's very few golfers that take that.
We do need some more characters in the game, don't we?
But I don't understand why because they might play better if they did that.
Yeah, it's a way of getting your nervous energy out, isn't it?
Why are they? Because it's obviously not working for everybody, being Nick Faldo. I mean, so many golfers spend a lifetime, it's like competitive dancers really, spend a lifetime losing.
Yeah.
spend a lot of your life losing.
Yeah.
Essentially. And you keep doing the same things that
Yeah.
make you lose.
Got to change something.
I don't know why you don't try a little something. I'm not suggesting you suddenly start playing left-handed, but would it kill you to talk to the audience? The audience, the paying audience who've come in. Would it kill you? You've just hit a ball 300 yards down the fairway. Would it not kill you just to walk down the edge of the fairway, saying to everybody, "Hello, my love, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. Have a wander down there. Go there. Oh, well, I like your jumper. That's a nice jumper. On you go. Have a bit of a walk down. You're playing terrible. I'm playing terrible today. I can't even believe it. I might could you hit a good one there, though? Ooh, yeah, good luck. Thank you very much." And you find that people support, and you can build on that sort of positive energy. And I don't know why people don't do more of that.
I know you enjoy doing that.
I love doing it. It takes me about 9 hours to get down. I hate playing golf with me, but it's.
No, that's funny. It is funny. So, you're getting a lot of love on here for your books and your dancing lessons and your stuff, and a couple of questions about your favourite dance that you do. I mean, that's quite a broad question. Your favourite dance you do on Strictly. But do you have a go? Is there one particular type of dance you love doing on Strictly?
Well, the actual dance I love doing on the dance I love doing on Strictly. I love doing the American Smooth on Strictly with a partner, because it's sort of, and certainly if we're going to talk about Blackpool, if we're going to Blackpool and we're still in, I love to do. We're still in.
Well, you have been recently.
Well, I do. I don't like to break. And he said, I love doing the American Smooth at Blackpool. Right. I did it with Emma last year, who was an absolute delight. And because it's big and breathy and fabulous, and it's sort of stylish and Hollywood, and you know, I love all that. The one I love to do sort of professionally, if I'm dancing with Erin, let's say, slow foxtrot has always been my favourite dance. But then, of course, for the same reasons, it's sort of sophisticated and stylish. The music's always incredible, and sweeping across the stage doing that just fills me with joy, really. But I don't really mind. It's just a sort of a way of being able to stand there and to making a connection. For me, it's all about the audience, trying to make a connection with an audience. I'm not doing a lecture, so I'm not trying to, I'm trying to put on a performance, and that's the most important thing. That's why I enjoy sort of performing songs. Whenever I'm singing on stage, for example, I'm not most comfortable. Again, know yourself. I'm not the most comfortable standing in front of a microphone just singing a song. Now, when I'm on tour, we have the wonderful Lance Ellington, who comes on tour with us and sings. You'll know him from Strictly Come Dancing. As one of the singers on there. He's got the most incredible voice. He's stylish and handsome, and he looks incredible in his suit and all that. And he can stand there with a microphone on stage, and he belts out a number, "Fly me to the moon," and it's start. And I go, "Oh, you make me sick, you do." Now that's not really me. That's not where I'm sort of at my best. I'm at my best when I'm sort of singing and performing. So if I'm doing a number, I wanna be a dancing man, and I'm doing a step tap, faddy da 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 da, hats and canes, and I'm performing a number with a partner, and I'm singing and dancing. That's where I love to do. But again, it's all about making a connection for the audience. If you're just doing it for yourself, you might as well stay at home and look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There's a couple of questions coming up. So one is, I don't know, very general question. Do you think Strictly will be back this year?
I think so. I don't see. I mean, we're talking.
You're hoping so.
I'm really hoping so. Boris is talking about softening lockdowns and stuff. Apparently, is an announcement on Sunday. So I've heard I don't know too much about it, but the thing about Strictly Come Dancing is we don't really start until September anyway. So I'd like to think we were out of lockdown by then. I mean, they might decide to do the studio stuff without an audience to start with.
Yeah. Same with the golf, really. I think. Yeah.
I mean, the professional golfers don't really, talk to the audiences too much. So.
Yeah. And someone asking about career advice, getting into performing, and I guess it's related. I had it down as a question anyway. I guess it's around competition, whether it's dance or whether it's sport. What's kind of advice that you've had from mentors, or you would give now to someone up and coming with a talent in something?
Well, my advice to a young golfer is
Yeah.
if I was to give, and I see a lot of this because, you know, as I say, I'm a member at Wentworth, and you get a lot of good players there and a lot of good
Yeah.
young players going along. And I watch guys when I'm on the when I'm doing some pro-ams and stuff, and the kids on the range and all that sort of stuff. And I would say to them, get off the range, get off the range, get on the course,
Play more.
get on the course. You've got to play, my love. And my old teacher used to say to me when we were competing, you get out, you've got to compete. Get out and compete.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about how you are until you put your tail suit on, put
Yeah.
a number on your back, and you go and perform in a competition.
That's true.
Against other people. You don't know how you. I can stand in the studio with my partner in a shirt and a tie, put my arms up and swing across the floor, and it's all gorgeous. Or if it doesn't go right, I just say, stop there, let's do that again, and we try it again. I'll drag another ball, hit another 6-iron. I'll drag another ball, I'll hit another. What does the trap man say? Oh, he says I hit this 170 yards. Well, that's not bad. Drag another ball, hit this other. All right, but you ain't dragging no balls on a golf course all the time.
That's
You have
right.
to go and find it. And that's
Get one go.
My advice is that really don't copy. This is a generalization. Don't copy too much.
Yeah.
Look, be interested, take note, and then go and find it for yourself.
Yeah, go do it.
So you go play, play.
Yeah.
And go perform. And if you're young, and also one other thing I didn't know. Life lesson.
Yeah.
Seek the best advice. The best advice.
Yeah. I would also say play with the best people in sport. I don't know if that's the same in dance. Would you try and dance with the best people?
We used to they have in the ballroom dancing world, and Latin American of course, the whole lot. In the competitive world, you have communal practice sessions.
Right.
So imagine like a range, like an open range. You just find a spot and you hit shots.
Yeah.
Now you have so somebody would be a nice dance studio, big dance ballroom. Somebody would be there by the music, and you do 15 minutes of waltz or 15 minutes of cha-cha-cha, let's say.
Yeah.
And the floor will be crowded with lots of people just dancing, and this is practice time. So you'd be working on whatever you'd want to work on. You might be just doing laps. You might just be so everyone's on the floor at the same time. Communal practice sessions, and you might be just working on specific figures. You might be just doing so. It's communal practice session. Now you have a load of those, and invariably the top people migrate to the same studio together. And sometimes you could go into these studios, some famous studios around the country, and you can see all the top people of the time rehearsing and practicing, doing their open practice. Studio. So even if the floor is crowded, you might just want to sit out and watch all these incredible couples. It's like a big competition, really. It's amazing. You see, now you can do your private practice that you want to work on in the studio on your own. Great, do that.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Have your lessons, fine. Yeah. But go to where the best people go.
Learn
and
from
see
the best.
what the best people are doing. That's really important.
I think that's great. Yeah, I think that's great. So we're getting close to time, like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes left. So I'm going to have a quick fire, as quick as you can. Now, I know that's tough for you. I know that's tough. Right.
I'll do my best.
Here we go.
Golf in 3 hours. Good luck.
Favourite golf course?
Wentworth.
You had to say that. Apart from Wentworth.
I tell you what is a beauty. Kings Barnes.
Kings Barnes is good. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, and the Turnberry.
Turnberry, yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, this is going to be tough for you to do quickly, but I'll give you a go. You've got a 4-ball. You can choose. Let's say you can choose 4 people, so it's a 5-ball. But let's just say you can bring back anyone. So showbiz or sports people. Who are you going to play with?
Well, I tell you, who I'd love to play with. I want Hogan.
Hogan, yeah.
Seve.
Yeah.
I want
cool.
I want Hogan, Seve, Tiger.
Are they all going to be golfers, or are you going to have some?
Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, and Bruce Forsyth.
Oh, I knew Bruce would be in there. I knew Bruce would be in there.
And Fred Astaire, because he was a great golfer.
Was he?
It's going to be an 8-ball, but we'll have a lovely time.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a good golfer.
Astaire, you've got to see this video. Go to YouTube, see this video. I think the movie's called Carefree.
Right.
And He's doing a tap number while swishing balls. You have
Okay,
to watch it. Do Fred Astaire golf shots.
Okay,
unbelievable.
I will do. I'm very hurt I'm not on that list, but yeah, okay, it was a good list.
I'd love you to come.
As a caddy, right? Favorite destination to go play golf? I mean, it's similar to the first one, but.
Well, to play golf, I love playing golf in Scotland.
Okay, that's nice. Home of golf. Course you'd like to play that you haven't played?
Augusta. Everybody, Augusta. I played Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach was unbelievable.
How good is that? I went there for the US Open last year. It was just unbelievable.
Stunning.
Yeah, stunning.
I played wonderful.
And I think this is an easy question. Where are you going to play when we're allowed out of lockdown? The first place you're going to go. That's easy, isn't it? Just down the road.
Tee up on the West Course and just have a 6-hour walk.
Yeah. And then this one. How on what week? Because I think are we week 7 or 8 at the moment of lockdown? How many weeks in is it going to be before you let Hannah loose on your hair? We're all going for home haircuts, aren't we?
We're all going for home haircuts. Hannah's actually already done the children's hair. She's been cutting the children's hair.
Has she?
Yeah. She had a little snippet of her own hair the other day, which I thought was very, very, very.
That's very adventurous.
And she keeps coming towards me with these scissors. And I keep turning. No, you're fine. So no, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna keep trying to forego that for as long as I can. She might hit me while I'm asleep though.
The other thing I've noticed is in all your videos and all your content, your curtains are getting a lot of love, aren't they?
There's some curtains, isn't there?
Hey?
There's some curtains in this house, let me tell you. I mean, look at these, for example. Look at these. It's
look
like
at those.
Bags and tails, isn't it? It's a beauty.
We could be in Blackpool now. I mean, look at that.
It's a bit harsh, but yes, it's absolutely tremendous. The curtains in the other room where I do the lessons are just fantastic.
Are they? Unbelievable, unbelievable. Let me just see if there's any more questions. We've answered those ones. There's a load of people asking for shout outs, which is obviously very difficult when we're having a conversation. But
do it. Maureen, hello. I've got some here. Hugh. How you doing, me old love? Robbie, lovely.
So that's great. Anton, look, it's been amazing. I mean, we could talk for hours. Well, I know you can, but I just wanted to... It's been great to learn more about how you got into dancing, the links between competitive golf and competitive dancing. I think it's been really interesting because you're obviously at the top of your game, and then to be at the top of any game, you need those similarities, and it's great that they're transferable. And it's been great to catch up with you. It's been a while.
It's been a while, and you are a beauty. And let me tell everybody who doesn't know this, he's a terrific golfer, this lad. And we used to be at the same golf course many years ago.
Yeah.
And he was a very determined golfer. He would stand on that range and hit ball after ball. And if you asked him nicely, he might even give you a tip for a 5. He was a very lucky boy. He gave me some of the best tips and best advice, actually. You gave me I remember we played golf once.
Yeah.
And you gave me a short game tip. Actually, which I thought was tremendous. And it's one of my favourite shots now, which was a little bump and run with the rescue club.
There you go. There you go.
And I remember hitting one shot with a little short game shot. And you looked at me and went, well, you were a man of few words in those days. You developed marvellously. And you said to me at the time, you went, why are you doing that? And it was sort of, it was a little bit of, I was a bit hurt. I thought it was obvious why I was doing that. Because natural skill was coming out. But you basically went, why are you doing that? And I went, well, I'm just trying to do that. He said, well, it didn't work, did it? And I went, no, all right, no, you keep on. And you said, try this. And we tried this, and we practiced this little bump and run with the rescue, and it's still one of my favourite shots.
There you go. I did come in useful once. It did come in useful once. But we'll get a game in this summer when we're allowed out. And thanks so much, mate, for coming on, and love to the family and the twins and stuff.
And to you.
And take care.
You look after yourself, and thank you very much for having me on. I've enjoyed this enormously.
No, it's been brilliant, and well done for getting the technology right. It's unbelievable.
It only took me 5 minutes.
Take care. Get ready for Fit at 50 at 3 o'clock.
God, it is as well. Look at me.
Yeah, go and do your stretching.
I'm going to prepare myself.
See you. Take care, Anton. See you. Bye.